In the previous video, we saw how nobody likes to lose. And so to avoid losing, we end up acting irrationally. That the fear of losing is a major driver in irrational behavior. Yet, when the stakes are high and we, stand to lose more, we end up acting more irrationally. Paradoxically, when we are eager to avoid big losses, we end up, making more mistakes. Mistakes that create more damage than what we originally feared, because of our tendency to do whatever it takes to avoid that loss. Investment strategies can often encourage huge irrational behavior. For example, a friend decided to invest all his assets into a company's share. So when the prices of the company's shares dropped from 400 to 200, he refused to sell, saying he would only sell when the prices returned back to 400. And the client was chasing a loss. He was just not ready to accept. He was ignoring the reality of the fact that he has made a loss. So what was the result? This guy did not sell it at the lower price, and subsequently the company's prices came down to a very low number, and the friend lost almost everything. While we would like to think that the more committed we are, the more cautious we are, but in fact it's the opposite. The fact is that the more there is on the line, the more irrational we become. So what exactly went wrong? So what went wrong? Commitment to an idea really makes it hard for a person to let it go, even if it's not working. But do remember that if the idea is not working, there must be something wrong somewhere. And if the idea is for greater good, you have to keep trying. But if it's just for materialistic purposes, you can maybe let it go. If everybody, all the geniuses in the world, Einstein to, Tesla, they gave up on their dreams which were nearly impossible, at that time, we wouldn't have had innovation, because they were not making that innovation for themselves or to make money. They were trying to change something in the history. So an idea which is not working can have multiple things wrong with it. If you're on the right track and if it's for a greater good, pursue it and figure out where it's wrong. But if it's really just about making money or finding a solution to a problem and you're going wrong somewhere, analyze first. Let's look at an example from American football history. University of Florida's team coach Steve Spurrier changed his team's strategy into an offensive one. What is the result? It became the winning team. Interestingly, no other coaches in the conference changed their tactics to try to sort of beat this method. And what was the result? Florida became the winning team. Despite losing game after the game, coaches were extremely committed to their own strategy, committed to the old methods, to take risk. So, it's our fear of loss that triggers and leads us to act irrationally, and sometimes overwhelmingly so. So, what else can trigger such a behavior? Let's find out in the next video.